Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video, guys. In today's video, this is once again going to be another Left 4 Dead 2 ranking video. For this ranking video, we are going to be ranking all the concept art of Left 4 Dead. Now, one caveat that I do want to mention just straight off the rip is that when it comes to this list, is going to be probably a little bit shorter than it could have normally been for a given list. That is just because when it comes to concept art, it's a little bit tricky to find out whether or not it is truly authentic or not. This is a area that kind of like is a little bit of a gray line because some fan art may be confused for concept art. So I purposely only end up having so many things in this list to avoid that problem even showing up. So if the list is a little bit short and there is a piece of concept art that is officially by Valve that I missed, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to tell you what my opinion is on it. But yeah, guys, other than that little exception, we will be ranking all the concept art of the Left 4 Dead. If you guys end up enjoying today's video, as always, please end up dropping a like, comment, and subscribe to show your guys' support. And if there's any particular thing that you would like me to rank in the next Left 4 Dead 2 ranking episode, please let me know by putting in the comments down below. But yeah, guys, let's rank every single bit of concept art in Left 4 Dead 2. Alrighty guys, so let's get into the very first spot. So coming in at our first spot, this is going to be, oh fuck no. The next spot is, oh fuck that. And the third spot is, fuck that with a side of fuck that on the side, please. Alright, coming in the next spot, this is going to be the Spitter if it was an ugly ass Oompa Loompa. The next spot is going to be Spitter Grandma. And then finally the Spitter if it looked more like a hooker than it already does. Alright, coming in at our next spot is going to end up being a zombified version of every guy ever that has participated in No Nut November, also known as the Charger. Alright, next we got a version of the Charger that looks like the tank if it decided to take on the habits of the Boomer. And then finally, for the last concept art of the Charger, we've actually got a really normal looking one with just a much more meaner looking face because of the caved in eyes. And trust me, don't worry, I'm actually going to be serious from now on. Actually, no, I got one more roast left in me. This concept art of Rochelle looks like literally the human version of the female Boomer. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, overly critical about this either, and I'm just saying it from the point of view of being like, why would you want to have one of your survivors, you know, the badass killing, you know, awesome character you have, to be very similar and basically be a human version of one of your, like, most weakest versions of your special infected? You know what I mean? Alrighty guys, I hope you ended up enjoying that roast session for the first couple of concept arts. I don't know why, I was just feeling extra savage today. But yeah guys, going into our next spot here, this is going to end up being a scrap special infected that is actually called Meat Wall. And I've seen this before, and I've also shown this in a video before, and basically this is just another one of those characters that just looks like the Boomer slash the Tank slash the Charger, basically slightly altered, and so that way it can basically be kind of like a hybrid of all of them. But overall, we don't know what this thing was meant to do. We don't know if it was supposed to be basically like a stronger Boomer or a weaker Tank. We just know that it was just called Meat Wall, and it was planned to be a different special infected, apart from the ones that we already have. But it does at least look decent. Alrighty guys, now we got a scrap special infected called Claws. Now, Claws I originally used to think was actually kind of decently cool. But as the years have gone on, he started to lose kind of his cool factor and just kind of blends in with all the other zombies that we see in pretty much every modern zombie game. This is your stereotypical looking monster when you don't have a character tied to it, where like it has like personality and, you know, like kind of like a cool design. This is just generic monster that like has like a sunken pair of eyes and a set of claws. It really doesn't have any value, and since we only have the concept art to go off of, that's just my valid opinion of it. I think that this thing could have had much more potential if we would have gotten more than just this, but this is the only thing we have to go off of it, so. Alrighty guys, now we've got the scrapped concept art of the Hellhog. This is one of two, and this is going to be the first one. The Hellhog was meant to be one of the special infected animals that was supposed to be in Left 4 Dead, but it never ended up becoming to be. And this is the original idea of what it was supposed to look like, one of two possibilities. And in my opinion, this is the least cool out of the other one. But however, though, it still is a really cool concept, and it would have been cool to see just a special infected animal. Because even though, you know, it would be kind of a little bit, like, iffy for some people, I think it would at least be cool if it was, like, its own game mode, maybe. Not necessarily the full game, but I would like at least to see it. And then here is the second one right afterward, and I think that this is slightly cooler just because of the more clean looking design. And even though it's not necessarily that much more different, I do think it does look slightly better in my opinion. You can let me know what your favorite version of the Hellhog is down below in the comments. Alrighty guys, now going back to survivors here for a second, this is going to end up being the concept art of Young Bill. Now, Young Bill here looks pretty cool, and I would say that this actually is a really good interpretation of what I think a actual Young Bill would look like. And Young Bill still looks pretty fun to play as, even though it's completely different from what we're used to. Now, Young Bill, I think that in my opinion, I don't necessarily prefer him. I actually much prefer the older Bill, just because not only am I used to that as well, but it just overall, I just feel like Bill, for the type of character he was, it was better fit that he was actually on the older side. If he was younger, it might not have had the same ring to it. Valve might have originally wanted to make him younger, so that way it would be more fitting for the age to basically be like the spiritual successor for Zoe's dad, because we all know that Bill's relationship with Zoe's that he's supposed to be essentially acting kind of like her surrogate dad. Alrighty guys, now we've got another concept art of Rochelle, and this one looks much better than the original one that I showed you guys earlier in the video. This Rochelle looks really cool. It actually kind of gives off the vibe of if like this was one of Rochelle's siblings, like almost like a sister. Looks very similar to the current Rochelle that we know, but just different enough that she seems like a completely different person. This at first glance seems like Rochelle, but the more that I think about it, this would look like someone that would be related to Rochelle, like a sibling, a sister, or cousin. If Valve suddenly just decided randomly today to say that, hey, canonically, this is Rochelle's older sister or something, that wouldn't surprise me, and I wouldn't doubt it for a second. This interpretation of Rochelle is cool. I like the afro. I like how that she's kind of got like almost like a little bit of sass going on in the photo, like with the type of like expression she gives and the pose she's in. Really cool interpretation of what Rochelle could have been, and I really like this one a lot. That's why I think it's deserving of being higher up on the list. Alrighty guys, so now coming in at our second to last spot, this is going to end up being concept art for Zoe. And this set of concept art is very different than the normal concept art that you guys sometimes see floating around. You probably think of the beta version of Zoe when you think of her, but this is a completely different one that only I feel like some people see. And this is one where Zoe's got blue long hair with a red bandana. Everything else seems to be the exact same. And maybe I guess you could say that her facial features are a little bit different, but they look the same to me personally. But yeah, just the fact that she has suddenly blue hair with the bandana really gives her a different interpretation of like what I feel like she would have been like. Maybe the personality doesn't necessarily change, but you ever feel like that like an image tells a story? I feel like that this look, they would have had a different story for Zoe. Not fully, but slightly. The funny thing is with art is it's open to interpretation, right? And for some reason, just looking at this, the different design of Zoe makes me feel that she would have slightly different personality traits and therefore have a different story. Overall, even though this is simplistic, I really like this design, and I think that it's really well done. I would have been happy if we would have had this, although in my opinion, I still do slightly prefer the original Zoe that we got right now. Alrighty guys, now before we do get into the #1 spot, this is something that I normally don't do, but I want to throw in honorable mentions, because like I said at the beginning of the video, this list I had to leave some things out, not only just because they technically can sometimes be on a thin line about whether or not that they're considered as official concept art, and also too as well, it's just that some of these things are just really hard to place, because they're like little tiny adjustments where they're barely noticeable. Or, as well, in addition to that, what ends up happening is that these pieces of concept art were officially in the game at one point, and so technically they're not scrapped because they were in a version of the game, and so I can't really label it in this list properly. So here's just a random compilation of all of those. So the first honorable mention is going to be the original beta Left 4 Dead 1 survivors. Now, all of these guys we were able to play with in the beta, of course, and that's why I said, like, once again, it was just hard to put them in this list, because they never really were scrapped. They were only scrapped from the full point of the game, so they had intent on putting them in, but it was very last second. So I decided to just originally just scrap these and just leave them as a honorable mention. Like I said, I rarely do this, but I thought that they should be at least acknowledged. The next one's going to be scrapped concept art of Ellis's original design. Ellis's original design, originally he was going to have just a plain yellow t-shirt with a green baseball cap. Now, these are slightly different color palettes and logos, And in my opinion, it was just not worth putting on the list. Yes, you could debate that about the things with Zoe and also even some of the several different, special infected and everything. But this was just my personal opinion, and that's why I decided to leave it out. But if you guys decide to make the list differently, please let me know what you would have done. I really would love to see. I like comparing and contrasting the list. Next here, we've got scrap concept art for Coach, and Coach has a different colored shirt with also holes in it, although he seems literally the exact same personality-wise. I can just kind of tell by his smirk. And then finally, for our last honorable mention, this is going to be concept art of Nick, and I think that out of every character, Nick has changed the least. He literally looks the exact same to me, other than nitpicky stuff where maybe it looks like his hair is a little bit less clean and like more frizzy, and he has like a minor 5 o'clock shadow, but that's like it, and that's debatable. Alrighty guys, so now we are finally coming into the #1 spot, and for the #1 spot, this is going to be a scrap special infected that I like to call Ratman. This is a really interesting bit of concept art, and I think that this is the coolest. I would have wanted to see this as a special infected. This is basically a special infected that its original purpose was meant to shoot rats out of itself, and the rats would attack you and try to eat you alive. Very gruesome, I know. Essentially, what it did was it was supposed to be kind of like a boomer type of mentality where it's supposed to, like, use other things to kill you, and it wouldn't actually, like, kill you itself. And it's a really, really unique concept how it, once again, kind of goes for the, like, infected animal mentality and has, like, zombie rats coming after you. And just having it, like, just burrowing rats in its stomach and then just, like, projectile launching them at you, that's just really menacing in my opinion. And this guy, I can imagine being very scary. If they ever added him one day, and like, let's say in Left 4 Dead 3, that would be really, really cool. And here's hoping that once again, we'll end up running into Ratman. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it here for today's video, and I do hope you guys ended up enjoying seeing ranking of all the concept art in Left 4 Dead 2. There is a piece of concept art that I did miss. Please let me know, and I hope you guys appreciate and understand the fact that I might have not included it just for the sole sake of that. I just want to honor all the creators and all the copyright, so that way I don't end up mislabeling people's content. But however, though, if you guys do end up finding it, like I said, be more than happy to share with me. I would love to end up giving my feedback on it and seeing what yours is as well. And if you guys end up enjoying today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to show your guys' support. If you guys would like to financially support the channel, I would definitely appreciate if you guys could go check out my Patreon. As always, linked down below in all my YouTube video descriptions. Or you guys could use supporter creator code BlackNinja797 in all caps in the Fortnite Epic Games item shops, because Epic's my very first sponsor, and they're sponsoring today's video, so shout out to Epic Games. One last thing, by the way, guys, I normally don't do this as well, but if you guys also want to check out my other social medias, they are also linked down below in the description. I have a Reddit, Twitter, and a Instagram. So if you guys could go check those out, I definitely appreciate it. I'm like 3 followers away from 100 on Twitter, so I definitely really appreciate if you guys can end up helping me reach that goal. But yeah, guys, I hope you end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you guys are ever going to see. Thank you for watching, guys, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords, Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!